Hi guys and gals, Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections Curator here at the Buffalo Naval Park. And for today's video, this was going to be kind of a larger video that I'm going to be parsing out a little bit. Could be a little convoluted and we don't want that. And thank you for your continued support, as always. So recently I came across, I must have processed it in probably my first few months here, a 1956 blueprint of USS The Sullivans. When we talk about the Sullivans and her refits and her changes, there usually is a pretty large gap. We know what they did in 45. We have photographic evidence of it when they were in at Mare Island in California when the Japanese surrendered, July, August, September of 45. So we have that pretty well down. Then there was a really large gap from about 45 to 59. And what I've been trying to do slowly and surely is, through evidence, photographic, blueprint, manuscript, is to fill out the changes to the ship using evidence, and then we can build the story a little bit better. For a long time we said, oh, the hedgehogs came on sometime in in the early 50s, or this piece of equipment was added in the late 50s. But now we're kind of building it out a little bit, and so I'm going to show you the Booklet of General Plans from the 56 refit. So what we see is they're in San Francisco. I believe, I should get my glasses, sorry everybody. I believe that says 43, which makes sense. All right. Yeah, it looks like 43. Of course, there was a 45 refit that I've just mentioned. They were in the Boston Naval Shipyard in May of 52. They were in the Philadelphia Yard in 54. And back in Boston in 56. And of course, certainly after that, but this is the most recent updated, and the corrections to suit ship goes up until 56. So we have the Around the World cruise as part of her service during the Korean conflict and the Korean War. It's nice photographic evidence, and I'm going to show you a couple of pictures from that cruise book. They left in September of 52, came back April of 53, and then spent 4 months shelling North Korea and protecting the fleet and the troops during that conflict. All right, but if we take a look at this photo, we see the launcher and the locker for the hedgehogs. Right there and there. All right, these were just forward of the bridge on the 01 level, and during World War II there would have been bofors there. All right, twin bofors. So we know that probably in that refit in 52, a few months before they left on their Around the World cruise, that they received these 7.2 hedgehogs. All right, and you can see the lockers and the projector and the lockers here. So now that's one issue solved. I also want to show this picture here, and what do we see? The waist-mounted quadruple bofors. All right, so those waist-mounted quadruple bofors that were mounted in the 45 refit are still here in 52. So they removed the Mark 14 quintuple torpedoes, added in 45, added the quad bofors, and they were still evident in 52. But if we go to 56, this blueprint, we now then see that the 3-inch 50s are there with the associated Mark 63 gun director tower and platform. And hey, look at that, standard compass, binnacle. All right, I did a video, one of our shorts I did talking about that compass and binnacle. Here's evidence that it was here in 56. And then of course there is also the waist, or the aft deck house 3-inch 50 as well. We also have a digital photograph collection from 1958 from Tom Peter, who was from Buffalo, but he served aboard the Sullivans from 57 through the end of 58. In that photograph, and I've shared one of his digital photographs when I was talking about the 5-inch practice loader. All right, so if you review that video, one of those pictures is from his collection. So if that photograph was taken in 58, we still see that Mark 15 with the blast shield on top, the quintuple torpedo tubes. So we know that in 58 they still had the bofors and the quad bofors on the waist and the quintuple tubes. So again, now we're building out that timeline. Evidence in 45, evidence in 52 with the Around the World Cruise book, now evidence from our 56 Booklet of General Plans for the Sullivans. 1958, we look at the Tom Peter photographs. And so that really helps us talking about the changes and the refits. So let's take a look back. In 56, we still had the quintuple right here. It doesn't show the blast shield, but it would have been on the one between the aft deck house and the aft stack. Torpedo director platform, gone. All right, probably when they removed the quintuple. All right, the crane and at-sea replenishment for the torpedoes, gone. The torpedo warheads. All right, I have a picture, a really nice picture from the Tom Peter collection in the book, the Buffalo Naval Park that I just did, showing those torpedo warheads. And of course I talk about the 5-inch practice loader, using the Tom Peter collection as well. So after 58, this whole area near the quarterdeck is totally reconfigured. The platform goes, the quintuple goes. Well, sorry guys, there's a party on the river. Fun. Okay. There's the crane goes away. The 5-inch practice loader, still am trying to search for that. And the torpedo warheads. So the catwalk that would have been here on the 01 level gets filled in. And you can still see the bracket and the circular mount for this quintuple. All right, but then right here in roughly probably 1961, we get that Mark 32 triple torpedo ASW torpedo set with the, I believe it's the Mark 44, trying to do that from memory, with the Mark 44 torpedo. All right, and then that fills out some of the knowledge that we're lacking right now. So the catwalk, it gets removed, it gets totally filled in, so it's a full service platform. 1961, the Mark 32 torpedoes come. So this is let me see my notes. So this is a great way of talking about, This is a great way of talking about filling in using photographic and manuscript evidence from the collections. All right, I'd also like to talk about, I love the Al Ross book, Anatomy of the Ship. There's one about the Fletcher class in total. There's also one specifically about the Sullivans, and it's a really nice resource that we use, really thoroughly researched. But using this 1956 Booklet of General Plans, let me get to the main deck. Here we go. His book, which I have a photocopy of a page, shows that in 1959 there would have been 2 Mark III depth charge racks on the stern of the ship. Looking at the 1956, we see only 1. So there's a little adjustment there to that book. And again, it's very easy to do when you're talking about a ship over time, different equipment, different technology. It's very easy to do that. So I was surprised when I saw in 1959 the overall armament package for the Sullivans, that it had 2 depth charge racks on the back, but it really is just 1. So really now what I'm looking for, and I'm sure there's some evidence here, I just probably haven't found it yet, is that 58 to 63 window. We've got 1945 covered, we've got 1952 covered with the cruise book, we've got the 1956 covered with the Booklet of General Plans, we've got 1958 covered with Tom Peter and some of those images of the ship from his collection. Now I want that window from 58, 59 to 62 or so, and I will keep searching. Well, I hope you found this kind of enjoyable. It's always fun to kind of build that timeline, and please leave questions, comments, all of that stuff. Can't thank you enough for your support. It's greatly appreciated, and love to hear from you and love to hear what you have to say. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.